Well, I mean, it's about everything you ask college football to be. Great environment, phenomenal environment for the kids, national television for the conference and both teams, and a quality opponent, really good football team in Troy, and obviously excited about the outcome. I thought our team really stepped up to the challenge. We talked all week about having to be physical and playing 60 minutes and really being on the road in a tough environment, just being at our very best. And I thought it was our best game of the season. Played the most complete game, and obviously defense just came out and set the tone early with creating a turnover on their first play and both halves and getting to the quarterback and turnovers for the night. But I thought offense finished up really, really well in the second half, and we had some special teams plays that contributed as well. So complete team win and sets us up for where we want to be to control our destiny down the last 2 weeks to a conference title, which has been the goal all along.
Thank you, Coach. We'll go to questions starting with Troy Schulte of the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette.
Hey, Blake, how are you?
Good, Troy.
Hey, I know, after Thursday's win, you guys are also bowl eligible, and I'm sure you don't care kind of where you guys end up. But, I mean, would going back to New Orleans to kind of put kind of last year's trip behind you and kind of have a better showing after last year, would that be a carrot that you guys would welcome, or just kind of what would be your thoughts on that going forward?
Troy, I think we just deal with that when the time came. Obviously, we would love to have played better than we did a year ago, and felt like we were pretty beat up by the time we got there against a really good La Tech team. But I don't know, just kind of in our heads, and maybe it's not completely true. Just feel like that's where the conference champion team goes, and so we always just focus on winning the league, and then we'll let the bowls sort themselves out. Honestly, I think they're all good bowl venues, and I've talked to every coach that's been to them, and everybody's had a blast. So we just want to play in postseason, and mainly we want to take care of the regular season and find a way to win the league. We'll finish up and go somewhere and have a blast when we go, and we definitely want to find a way to win one of them as well.
Yeah, and kind of bigger picture, Chris Hume said the other night after the game that he thinks that you guys are playing right now better than you guys were at any point of last year. Maybe it was just kind of the high and the emotions from the win, but would you agree with that? And if so, kind of.
Well, I think defensively they're playing as good as they've ever played. I still think offensively we're still trying to find ourselves at times. I mean, I love the way we finished the other night, but we really struggled in the first half at times. But and that's expected. I think with all the new pieces of the puzzle, there's still a lot of learning going on. But I think he's probably talking more about defensively that they played with a tremendous amount of confidence. You got guys like Chris Odom that really didn't factor in a year ago that are playing at such a high level, and a young guy like Justin Clifton who now is, with 2 interceptions just playing so much better, and the veterans have settled in. I just think they have a tremendous amount of confidence defensively, and I would agree that they're playing, their very best football right now when it's most important.
And lastly on Justice, I mean, has he practiced since Thursday, and what's going to be the plan for him going forward this week?
Yeah, he was fine. We practiced last night, Troy. He was fine. He was still, he was beat up in the game the other night and still not 100%. And I thought he handled it as best he could. And we're really blessed and just in a position where Chad was able to come in and have a huge game when we needed it, and it really fit the game plan really well. I mean, we're going to continue to use them both. I mean, Justice is still the starter, and we'll take the majority of the snaps, and we'll use Chad where we can. And he's obviously proven that he can come off the bench and not miss a beat. And I don't think everybody's got that. So it's a rare opportunity, then we're going to try to utilize them both.
Cool. All right. Thanks, man.
Sure.
Thank you, Troy. We'll go to our next questions from Brett Strelo with the Winston-Salem Journal.
Hey, Blake, obviously asking this from a North Carolina perspective, but just the way you guys, Troy and App State, have been kind of lumped together for most of this conference race, what's it like to be part of a race where maybe you don't play one of the teams? And I don't know, in a perfect world, does it matter to you that you didn't get to play them or that they're not on your schedule, and just kind of how that kind of affects how this whole race has looked?
Well, I mean, you can only control what's in front of you. We dealt with it a year ago, and really the last 2 years not playing Georgia Southern, and they 2 years ago they went undefeated, and there really wasn't anything anybody could do about it that didn't play. And we're in the same. It is what it is. I mean, conference structure is going to change in the future a little bit with Coastal coming in and New Mexico State and Idaho leaving, and we'll have a conference championship game. But it is what can do is control us. And if everybody wins all their games, then you have a co-champion. But at the point we're at now, Troy beats App and we beat Troy, so that's about as close to head-to-head as you're going to get. And it's up to us to control our destiny down the stretch so that we don't have to share the title with anybody.
Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you, Brett. We'll go to our next questions from Luke Matheson with RedWolfReport.com.
Hey, Coach, how are you?
Good.
So, obviously, you had the big win over Troy last week, and going in this week up against Lafayette, a team that we all know is probably considered one of the biggest rivals in Sun Belt Conference for A-State. How do you keep the guys level and, so there's not a disappointment this week? And will that be something where you rely on the guys that were at the same point last year, knowing that if you win, you got a conference title, at least a share of it, and relying on them to help these younger guys?
Yeah, man, I think you pull on everything you can. We've got some veteran guys that have been through this a year ago. You're right. This has been a competitive rivalry. Both teams have been really good in the league for a while, and it's become a competitive rivalry. So I think that fires it a little bit. I think, with Lafayette fighting for bowl eligibility and really no room for error, our kids, they're smart enough to understand it. We talked about it. You're going to get their very best. But also all you got to do is just look around a little bit in college football, and we talked about this last night, of other teams that have put themselves in a similar position and then not really brought their best game the following week, and they lost a game that they shouldn't have. This is different. This is going to be a competitive game regardless. They're much better than their record, and I think we are too. And so it's going to be a physical, toe-to-toe, smash-mouth football game. And but I felt like the energy in the room last night as we met, as our kids understand, number one, the challenge that's ahead of us, and also number two, this game's more important than last week because we won. I mean, this game becomes even more important to them because you do have control, and you don't want to leave it up to other people, and you don't want to lose that one game lead that you've got over the rest of the league.
And what does it mean to you and your staff? Not only you and your staff, but the team as well. Start off 0-4 in the season. You're undefeated in conference play, and now you can control your own destiny. What does that mean to you guys right now? Well,
it'd be great regardless of how the non-conference schedule went. I mean, to be sitting atop of the league and being able to control your own destiny and not waiting for help from somebody else is a great feeling. And the pressure of it we've dealt with before, and so we're going to try to recall on that. But having started the way we did and gone through the disappointment that we did and had to really kind of pull together just says a lot about this group of kids and just how they care about each other, how they care about the staff, and how they don't want to let each other down, because a lot of guys can't. I don't think a lot of guys can get through that, and it just shows great character and the culture that's created both by our staff and Shadid and the crew downstairs. I mean, our guys pulled together instead of splitting apart when things weren't going well, and we've battled through some really rough times to get to this point. It just makes it even sweeter.
Thank you.
Sure.
All right, thank you, Luke, and thank you, Coach Anderson. Those are all the questions we have for you this morning.
Thanks.